views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB-TV.
Playing down that big old fairway. Don't want no hackers to get in my way. The boys and me got a big Nassau going. We were born to drive.
Well, hi again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Golf Unedited, where nothing is out of bounds. Of course, brought to you by Encore Golf, makers of some awesome golf balls. I'm Dennis Silvers, along with my great co-host, Jay Schrader, and we're back here again, Jay.
We are back. It's good to be back in the studio, good to be back into a routine, and enjoyed last week's show with Tom and looking forward to continuing on that.
Well, not only last week was a great show because of Tom Weiskopf, who had a great interview, but it was our first hour show. I remember you saying, God, I hope people don't get tired of us, on for a whole hour. Well, I got news for you, my friend. Do you know how many calls and emails I got from people saying, oh no, we'll never get sick of you. We want to see more of you. And right now, I'd like to thank all my family members for doing that.
No, it was great. And it was very insightful. A lot to learn from Tom, from both his playing career and the architectural side. I love the fact that, when he said, I only like to put 2 or 3 bunkers on a hole, and if he gets over 40 on a golf course, he thinks that's too many. And I thought, that's somebody that knows the game, understands the game, and understands you got to hit it in a certain area.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you have too. I've played courses, Jay, where there's so many damn traps. They not only do they give you a golf cart, they give you a beach chair too when you come out. You know
some suntan lotion. You can go hang out there. But it gets a little crazy sometimes. They get over the hill. But I loved it talking with Tom last week and just getting his insight on how he goes about his business. Yeah,
we've got another great show for you today. Not only do we have one, we've got two spectacular interviews for you. My good friend Jeff Wallach, who's an award-winning author, and Jeff and I go back a long way. He's got a new book out that we're going to talk about, Mr. Wizard. Yeah. Wasn't that the name of a TV show? Seriously, years and years ago? I wonder if he ripped it. I wonder if he ripped it off from him.
Oh, who knows? But
so anyway, and we got Christina Ricci, a friend of mine who's a top LPGA teaching professional back east, in fact, in New Hampshire.
Get some tips. It'll be fun.
Some tips. Yeah. She's going to be very, very good. So, all right, I'll tell you what, Jay and I are going to take a break. We're going to get set up with our first interview with Jeff Wallach on Zoom, which is going to be
awesome. You'll get to see him.
Yeah, so stay with us. We're going to be back with you right after this.
Straight down the middle, it went straight down.
Do you suffer from projectile dysfunction? Slice shots, short shots, hook shots, flu shots? You've lost your touch, and you're losing your mind. All because you're using overpriced and overhyped balls with outdated technology. Like the balls your dad plays with. Well, quit playing with your dad's balls, and start playing with Encore's balls. At Encore, we bring innovation to the golf ball, from core to cover. Our balls caused the USGA to actually rewrite the rules on golf ball construction. Psh, no big deal. It's a big deal.
And because we're direct to consumer, we've cut out the middleman and passed the savings on to you.
Hey, I'm the middleman, and boy, do I have a... Pay a fraction of the price for twice the performance. We're a no-brainer, but for people with brains. More distance off the tee mean your drives go farther. Check. More accuracy in the air mean your balls fly straighter. Double check. More durability means even you won't believe how long your balls last. Hey babe! Still going. With a soft feel and a perimeter weighted design, chipping and putting will be more consistent than ever. You'll be shaving stress off your game faster than your friend can shave off that ridiculous crustache. What were you doing before you started using Encore golf balls?
Not hat and bombs.
And what are you doing now?
Hat and bombs.
So what were you doing before?
Sulking.
And what are you doing now?
Not sulking.
So if you're ready to cure your case of trajectile dysfunction, go to EncoreGolf.com and pick up a dozen of our 2019 Hot List winning golf balls. Or if you want the enjoyment to last even longer, buy 3 or 6 dozen and get massive bulk discount pricing. Either way, grab our balls and prove us right. It'll make us both feel good.
If you're like me, you always want to look your best, either at work or going out with family or friends, and a big part of that starts with how your clothes look. Don't stay dissatisfied with cleaners that have too much starch or not enough, or don't replace those loose buttons. How about those that have prices that are so high it makes you want to wear dirty clothes? Discover the one business that's a dream come true for you and all of your cleaning needs. Royal Cleaners has been fulfilling the dry cleaning and laundry needs for Valley residents for years. Customers have also relied on Royal Cleaners for expert repairs and alterations no matter what garment you bring in. They offer free pickup and delivery and a 10% discount for VIP customers. Located on the southwest corner of Durango and Flamingo, Royal Cleaners are open for business Monday through Saturday. So if you want to look and feel like royalty, it's Royal Cleaners. Call them at 702-600-1573 or check them out online at royalcleanerslv.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of Golf Unedited, where nothing is out of bounds. Before we get started with our interview with Jeff Wallach, I just want to say, have you noticed the new,
very nice,
the new apparel from Encore?
Yeah, very nice. I like it.
The new shirt. So we're going to be sporting these.
Thank you.
And it was perfect timing, Jay, because my other two with our logos on them got dirty, so I took them, of course, to Royal Cleaners, where I take all of my stuff, and they're fantastic. Everybody should go there, and I want to welcome them as a new advertiser on the show too. So
yeah, that's good. But you should take your laundry in more than once a month. Just saying, we'd appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. All right, let me tell you a little bit about our special guest, Jeff Wallach. Jeff is an award-winning author of several nonfiction books, including his latest book entitled Mr. Wizard. And we're going to be talking about that extensively in the show. Jeff is also a very prolific writer, having written, probably over 1,000 articles, essays, and reviews for many national publications and papers and stuff, including New York Times, Sports Illustrated, Money Magazine, and Golf Magazine. So he's
big time.
He's big time. Jeff has worked as a columnist where he covered golf, fitness, and travel. Jeff has taught writing at a variety of schools and workshops, conferences. So he's very well informed, very well rounded, very experienced. Jeff has earned a bachelor's degree in English from Vassar College.
Nice.
Okay, that's nothing to sneeze at. And a master's in fiction writing from Brown University. So very, very well credentialed. Jeff, thank you for coming on the show. It's so good to see you. We haven't seen each other for a while, back in the A position. And I appreciate you coming on, my friend.
It's great to be here with you guys. I hope we're not out of time after that introduction. Wow.
No, we are not.
Well, you've been around long enough. He rambles on.
Yeah, I first met Jeff years back when I was part of the A position, and Jeff was running the A position, partly running the A position. For our viewers, Jeff, Tell them about what the A position was all about. And it's still going, by the way, even though your involvement has ceased. But tell everybody what the A position was all about.
Sure. We started the A position right when the magazine business was swirling around the drain. And what we did is we put together a consortium of about 50 of the top golf writers and broadcasters from all over the country that each had their own website, and then all of their websites were tied into the central website, theaposition.com. And we were just a group of content providers trying to find a way to make a living in the new technological economy.
There you go.
Yeah, and I was very happy to be included in that because he did say top broadcasters.
Well,
you understand that?
Yeah, but he threw you in as an add-on. We all know that.
Yes.
We won't get into that.
No comment.
Yeah, oh, I love it. I really love it. Jeff, you've covered golf, written about golf. What do you think is harder to do, writing about golf or broadcasting golf, and why do you think the way you do?
That's a good question, Dennis. I mean, right now, I would say writing about it might be more difficult. I say that partly because I'm a writer.
Right.
But, we've seen a huge shrinkage in the market of available media outlets in print and even print online. Whereas, I think broadcast people love to listen to a podcast when they're in the car, or they're sitting out in the backyard smoking a cigar or something like that. Reading, has seen a downturn, I think, in the last 10 years in the media.
Yeah, and I agree. You're finding fewer and fewer golf writers, columnists, and stuff like that. Jeff, I hate to do this, but you're right. The intro was a little bit long. We're up against a hard break. So we're going to, no, we're not going to take a break. Or are we going to take a break? We're not going to take a break.
I'm going to sit right here and do what I'm told. How about that?
No, I don't think we're going to take a break. That was my mistake, but go ahead.
Jeff, this new book, give us an idea what this new book, Mr. Wizard, what did you find out with this book?
Well, I found something out before I started the book, which was that I had some ancestry that I was unaware of for most of my life. My mother said something in a conversation. I took a DNA test, discovered in my mid-50s that I was 14% Scottish, something I'd never known my whole life. That became the impetus for writing the book, even though in the book the heritage that the character discovers is Irish. That's where the whole thing started.
Wow. Jeff, wasn't there a television show years back by the name of Mr. Wizard?
There was a television show.
So you stole the title from the television show?
No, I stole the title of a card trick.
There you go. Hey, see, truth be told, it's all good.
Oh, my God. Do you have... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, when I was a kid, we had a card trick that worked on the telephone, and it was called Mr. Wizard. And so that becomes sort of a pivot point in the book. The mother teaches these two boys this card trick very early on.
That's very cool.
When you were researching your DNA, I mean, I think I know what I am, but I don't know for sure. What was the biggest surprises that you found out doing that in your research?
Well, for me, it was that the Scottish ancestry showed up almost exactly in the ratio that it should have, with my great-grandfather being Scottish.
Okay.
And, and seeing the map of the world and where your different pieces come from, this is information that has never been available to any generation before ours. And a lot of people are getting a lot of surprises. Some are great surprises, some they're not so happy about.
Yeah. I could have told you that, I think, years back, Jeff, when we first met. I had an inkling you had some sort of Scottish connection, because the way you were pounding down that scotch when we were out on our trips. There you go.
Yeah, well, it's in my genes, Dennis.
There you go. There you go. Well, the good news is you have to keep up with the heritage. So, at least you found out there's a reason behind it, right?
That's exactly right. You're the author of, 3 or 4 other books that you have written that have done very, very well. Number one, what is there about writing that really makes your boat float? And number 2, where did you get that inkling from, like, when I grow up, I want to write books?
That started very early, probably around 11 or 12 years old. I saw writing as something that would set me apart from other people. I was the youngest in my class, and so was a little behind the other kids, maybe in the playing of sports and things like that, although I like to think I've caught up. But writing was something where I could excel, and it was fun for me. And except when you're writing in journalism, you get to make stuff up and have fun and give people funny lines that they can speak and invent characters. So this is something I've done my whole life. Even when I was a journalist, I wrote fiction on the side.
Yeah.
So basically what you're telling us is you have a great imagination and you just like to write it down on a piece of paper.
Sure. Some people could say I'm a great liar. However you want to put it, Jay.
That's exactly right. Now, Mr. Wizard, 2 brothers, 1 mother, 1 big question, and I'm not going to reveal the question, obviously, but I got through about half of this, Jeff, and I appreciate you sending it to me. I just got the sense that the book, I was enjoying it, and I found myself kind of really getting involved in different things that you were writing about, and the book was a little bit different departure from the prior books that you had authored. Am I off base on that or not?
I don't think you're off base. I think there are certainly plenty of things that are similar in that my previous books were mostly about golf, and this has a very strong golf element in it. But yeah, it's a departure in that it's fiction. It's an opportunity for me to stretch the writing muscles. When you work for magazines, you're under some very strict constraints as to the kinds of things you could say.
Right.
The expression of ideas, may be limited by the nature of the magazine you're writing for. So this was really a chance to kind of flex the writer's muscles and try to be funny and have more fun than some of the magazine work allowed me to do.
Jay, and I think you would agree with me, Jeff, isn't it easier on several levels to write fiction as opposed to nonfiction? Because like you say, you could let your imagination carry you away.
I love that question because when you write for magazines, you're not allowed to, you have to get all the facts right.
Yeah.
You have to get quotes from people.
Right.
And when you write fiction, you get to make it all up. So it's both easier and harder. It's certainly easy to do an interview with somebody and quote what they said and put a few lines around it to give it context. When you're writing fiction, that page is really blank in a way that it's never blank when you're a journalist. So that's both the challenge and the fun of it.
Well, I have a question. I mean, when you were doing this and you developed these characters, were you having conversations with yourself? Do you go back and forth? I mean, your mind's got to go back and forth of your writer side and this character that you're trying to develop and what kind of traits and things?
For as long as I have known Jeff, he's always talked to himself. So I think that
well, this may have helped.
Easy. Yeah.
That's because nobody else ever listens to me.
You live in Dennis's world.
Yeah.
The thing with writing fiction is the characters begin to take on a life of their own.
Yeah.
And they're part of you, but they're also separate. And so you have a character and you could put words in his mouth, and if those words don't really fit the way he would speak or his character, it rings very untrue on the page. So really what you try to do is you just try to get out of the way, set some people up together, and see what happens. They're going to speak to each other, and you're just kind of transcribing in some ways.
Jeff, two things. How long did it take you to write Mr. Wizard? And what would a reader, and I highly suggest this book for your golf library, and Jeff will tell us where to get it in a minute, but how long did it take you to write, and what's a reader going to take away from this book once they complete it?
Yeah, so the original draft was a breeze. It took me about 6 months, and that's 6 months of basically full-time work. I had a draft, and then I spent another probably 18 months revising, rewriting, editing, getting some things right that weren't quite right. And then at the end, when you find a publisher, then there's another whole stretch where you're really checking all your facts.
Right.
If I write about something that I remember from my childhood, there was a bank in the town where I grew up, and I made a reference to it, somebody almost driving through the window. And then I went back and I thought, was there a window in that bank? And so I had to go on Google Earth and find that bank that still existed in my hometown. And I saw, no, there's no windows there. Okay, so there's a lot of things like that along the way that you spend time correcting. Yeah. So, that revision process is a long one.
Yeah, you've got a lot of street cred because you are an award-winning published author. So it's a lot easier for somebody like you to find a publisher, go back to your old publisher, than somebody that's just coming on scene.
It's a tough business. You have to be, I think, crazy and stupid to go into it. A dangerous combination, but it's very rewarding. And I've said this to other interviewers who've asked, everybody says they have a book in them. Oh, I'm thinking about writing a book. I truly believe that. I think everybody's got a great story to tell.
Right.
And this is, there's no limit or barrier to you sitting down and doing it. And I think if you're compelled to do it, you do it because you want to, because it's fun, because you have a story to tell. And then maybe when you're done, you get lucky enough and it gets published. And if you don't, your family reads it, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you did it, and it's a great process in itself.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely a gift to be able to write. I know. I agree. We all have stories. We all have that, but not all of us can write it down, Jeff. So, and especially do it as well as you do. So,
did you collaborate with anybody, Jeff, on any of your books?
No. Well, it depends on what you mean by collaborate. On this book, when I finished it and was sending it out, I worked with what they call a book doctor, essentially a pre-editor, something that I really didn't think that I needed until I realized that I needed it. So he went through 2 versions and marked up every page, even when I thought the book was done.
Right.
Hundreds of comments, and they were very valuable. So anybody who's writing, you need a coach or somebody to help you. It's a great thing.
Yeah. So obviously the spell check on your computer was not working.
Well, I just think, here's a guy that writes it all the time. Jeff writes, and he's very good at it. No question about it. But when you see the same things, you do like everybody else. You read through things. You don't see the punctuations, the different things, and you need that outside set of eyes. Is that correct?
Right. And the more you work on it, the harder it is to see a misspelling or a quotation mark facing the wrong way. And it's very helpful to have people who are anal about those kinds of things. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but one mistake was discovered by one of my golf writing friends. It's a small error, but the book itself is already a treasure hunt. So if you like a treasure hunt, you could try to find that error.
You're talking about the mistake on page 187 on the. Okay, no, I got it. You live in a beautiful part of the country in Portland. Number 1, what's been going on in Portland? Number 2, have you been playing any golf? And most importantly, how do you get your hands on the book, Jeff?
Let me start with that. You can go to jeffwallach.com, and right on the landing page, there's a link to my publisher's site.
Perfect.
You could go directly to the publisher, which is Open Books. You can get it on Amazon. You could go to your bookstore and ask them to carry it. people could call you Dennis and you could lend them your copy.
For a reasonable rate, absolutely, Jeff. Absolutely. And what's going on in Portland?
Oh, so we've been golfing here the whole time. We've had very few cases. We've been very lucky here. Good. Golf courses are one of the few places that have remained open, and they are jam-packed every day of the week, which is great. I have never seen the golf business here doing as well as it is now. So that's a silver lining. The town itself, things were a little loud from downtown last night. I think we're experiencing what a lot of places are experiencing. Yeah. People are upset about various things. Yep. And, hopefully all of these troubles are going to smooth out over the next few months. And we'll see some changes in the way we live. Hopefully there'll be positive ones. Yeah. But people can go back to having a normal life and eating a cheeseburger in a restaurant.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
There you go. Good. Jeff was very kind enough to invite us. I told him we had Tom Weiskopf on the show last week, and he was kind enough to invite us to go up to play some golf. And Jeff was very kind to extend an invitation for us to maybe make a side trip to come see him in Portland, because he promised that he would take us out. Where was it? Pumpkin Ridge again? Where was
wherever
it?
Wherever you want to go. As long
hey, watch out. Watch out. Wherever we want to go, you're in trouble with that.
As long as you give me 5 shots aside, everything will be fine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
See, now.
Hold your breath, buddy. Hold your breath. Yeah. Anyway, again, I recommend this, Mr. Wizard. Jeff is a wonderful writer. You're going to enjoy the book. Again, get it for your golf library. You're not going to be sorry that you did. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on. Great seeing you. Best of luck with the book, and we'll let you know whether we're stopping by or not.
All right. Super to be on with you. Thanks for the chance.
Thanks, you very much, Jeff. Take care. All right. Jeff Wallach, everybody. Just a terrific guy. And as far as what I've read in the book, very enjoyable.
Well, I got to give him credit, because what my mind thinks and being able to put it on paper, that's an art form.
Yeah, that's
an art form.
So
those guys that can do that are special.
All right, we're going to step away, take a short break. We're going to reload, and Jay and I are going to come back with you right after this. Lots of golfers, probably like you, wish they could play with a top-quality, high-end golf ball. Most golfers don't, because they either lose a lot of balls or simply feel they aren't good enough, plus they're expensive. Well, here is the perfect solution that lets you play any premium ball you want for just a fraction of the retail price. Introducing BreakfastBalls.golf, where they feature not only all the top brands like Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, but just about any other ball you'd want to play. These are top-of-the-line used golf balls that are never altered or refurbished, that guarantees you are getting the same quality as a brand new ball. Put yourself on the first tee using a brand new premium ball, only to hit it in the middle of the lake or deep into the woods, never to be found. Sound familiar? With BreakfastBalls.golf, it would only cost you a fraction of the original cost, so you don't beat yourself up. So do your game and your wallet a big favor. Go to BreakfastBalls.golf and make your selection, and remember, breakfast balls aren't just for breakfast anymore.
The Impact Press is a new revolutionary training iron that is designed to improve how you deliver the club to the ball, called the Moment of Truth. This ingenious training aid was invented by Bill Schmedes, an award-winning PGA teaching professional who has been voted one of America's top young teachers. The patented design of the Impact Press simply forces golfers to see and understand how they should move their body, hands, arms, and release for tour-quality ball striking. Another great thing about the Impact Press is that it can be used both inside and outside or away from the ball to improve motor pattern, providing the feedback needed to take your game to the next level. The Impact Press is for all ages and abilities who are looking to vastly improve both body and club movement at impact. The Impact Press is used and endorsed by top teachers and coaches in both Golf Digest and Golf Magazine's Top 50 and Top 11 golf instructors. The bottom line is, feeling is believing. Better ball striking, better scores, more fun. Go to ImpactPressGolf.com. That's ImpactPressGolf.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of Golf Unedited, where nothing is out of bounds. I'm Dennis Silvers, of course, with my great co-host, Jay Schrader. And Jeff was a good interview.
Jeff was good. It was nice to see, and very talented, being able to write, and great stories that he has, and obviously loves the game of golf also.
He does. He's let me tell you this, and he's not on camera anymore, but he's a much better writer than he is a golfer. Okay, but he still likes to have fun. He's down with the beer and the whole deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking about good golf, our next interview with a great young lady who's been teaching golf for a long time, very versed, very successful. Christina Ricci is an LPGA Class A member. She is also certified in a number of fitness programs, such as the Titleist Performance Institute, which is very heavy. Also CrossFit and a number of others. Christina is also a best-selling author. Speaking of authors, she's written a number of very successful books. Her first one coming in 2008. It's called A Girls on Course Survival Guide to Golf.
Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, Girls on Course Survival.
Oh my God, look at this.
Basically what you're saying is don't play golf with Dennis.
That's
in that book. That's what it is.
Christina teaches at a great facility in Atkinson, New Hampshire, just a bit north of Boston, where she went to school. She's been featured on the cover of Golf Tips magazine, as well as having an extremely active website with her online portal. She does great tips. We'll talk about that as well. She graduated from Boston University with a bachelor's degree in business with a focus on marketing, and we'll get into it, and you'll find out Christina is very, very versed in marketing and getting herself out there. So it's a great pleasure to talk to her again and bring on Christina Ricci. How are you? You look absolutely great, Christina.
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. Tell us about the facility where you've been teaching for a number of years.
Atkinson Resort and Country Club is a phenomenal, award-winning facility. It has an 18-hole championship course. It's a great course.
Yeah.
It has a par 3 course, and we have a full state-of-the-art academy, golf academy.
Wow.
That's year-round. So we have heated bays, so people come in the winter and hit balls. We have TrackMan, V1, Body Track. So it's a phenomenal facility. I run my camps there during the summer before I head out.
Before you head out. Speaking of camps, you do a lot of camps all over. Tell us about those. What do they entail?
They entail one thing, Dennis, and that's more pars.
That's her shtick, is more pars. Yeah.
So my more pars camps, I run across the country, Florida, Arizona. I'll start California. I'm also looking at Texas. I'm getting a lot of requests for Texas, the Pacific Northwest. So I'm branching out each year. The camps are getting bigger and bigger, meaning more and more.
Right.
My camps are small. I cap them at 6.
Right.
So I can give really personal attention. So they're not big camps. I'm not into quantity. I'm into quality.
I think that's great.
It's great.
And I'm getting you out to Las Vegas, aren't I? I'm going to help you get out to Vegas to do a camp. Can I be a participant in the camp that you do?
As long as you behave.
Oh, you're asking for a miracle there, Christina. You know that.
Are they only for women, Christina, or do you have men and women?
Both? Oh, no. I initially marketed to women with obviously the Pink Book. That was my first book. But with YouTube and social media and the videos, it's anyone.
It's anyone.
I typically teach adults.
Okay.
I will say that the junior market is not my focus, although I love teaching juniors, but it's primarily adults. So I'd say the ratio right now to women to men is about 75 women, 25 men. It's great for couples. Men.
That's
really
that's
good
great
for couples.
Some couples, that's awesome. Yeah, you get couples that come.
Yeah.
Great. Where can they get the information on your camps, Christina?
ChristinaRicciGolf.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Go there. I'm sure it'd be a great experience from everything that you've told us, get out and play these courses and get great instructions, all that. What is the number one thing, Christina, that you find with women golfers? What are they all looking for in trying to improve their game?
Other than a husband.
The number one request I get from all golfers is, I want to be more consistent.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the number one.
Right.
But you really got to define consistency. What is that? Because some players have realistic expectations and others do not.
Right.
Like they expect to hit every shot perfect, maybe because they see the pros on TV hitting perfect shots, so they think their definition of consistency is that. But most players, I find, they just want to hit the ball solid. A lot of women in particular, from the fairway, have a hard time getting that compression, so really getting the ball airborne. That's a number one thing. They do okay off the tee, but when they get to the fairway, and that's men too.
Yeah.
A lot of players struggle from the fairway.
Do you feel, Christina, with the men that you teach, and I know it's a very common problem, Jay and I have talked about this before, their kind of ego gets in the way. You say, hey, Joe, welcome. How far do you hit a 7-iron? I go, 160, 165, and they hit it, 125. Do you find that to be the case more often than not? And how do you get them to accept reality, so to speak?
Honestly, I've been lucky. The students that have come to me are they leave their ego at the door.
Yeah.
Because they want to just get better. Because they're obviously, I'm going to see their shot, so they can't lie and say that's going 160 when I know it's only going 130.
Right.
So I haven't really run into folks that are heavy with the ego, which is good.
Well, I have to tell you, I was really impressed. Last week we had Tom Weiskopf on, and with all the things he's done in golf and everything else, he says right now his goal is to start and finish with the same ball. And I just think that's realistic. A lot of us that go out and play just need to be consistent, but we need to be realistic, as you said, of what that consistency can be for us. We're not professional golfers. If you go out once a month, you're not going to shoot par. It's, you're just not. So it's a game that you have to work on.
And that's the beauty of it. The minute you say, I got this, you're dead. Next day, you're done.
Yeah.
I see that every week when he says, I got this putt. And then it's 3 putts and 3 minutes later. So.
Exactly. Christina, I know that you went to Boston. As I mentioned, you have a degree in business with an emphasis on marketing. And you market yourself very, very well. Perhaps better than a lot of people that I know. What got you into marketing? Number one, what was the appeal? And obviously you started playing at a fairly early age. I was reading your website. And how did you decide to marry the two? What was the light bulb that went off?
Well, my background is marketing and branding. So I had my own company and I did graphics. I built websites. I was a creative director for a magazine. So my whole background is graphics. Okay. So anything creative, that's me. I mean, I just like to create, which is why I love golf.
Right.
So when I was starting the game, the only thing I was doing, because I worked for myself, was I was at the golf course and I would work at night. And I was losing my clients and they're like, where are you? So I figured I had to marry the two because I really loved golf and I knew I wasn't going on tour. Okay. So what else can I do? I married my passion for graphics, which is how I was able to make the book. It's all visual.
Right.
Step 1, 2, 3, easy to follow. So when I got lucky, I found a publisher, which was amazing because you can't really publish a book as a amateur. Because I published that book as an amateur.
Yeah. And
I was amazed that I was even able to get an agent. Because I didn't have a platform at the time. And they was like, you need a platform to publish a book, and you're not even a professional.
Yeah.
Right.
So I got lucky. And then I had a great distributor, and then it just kind of took off.
The first time I had Christina on, she was very kind. I got a box delivered to me, Jay. I'm telling you, it was like this. And I go, what in the world is that? It was full of all of her books that were absolute. Some were big, some were little tiny stuff. Did you do all the graphics and stuff on the cover, Christina? Because they're awesome.
I did all the graphics. What I don't do is the illustration. I have a wonderful illustrator in the UK, so all the actual drawings are from an artist from UK.
Okay.
But everything else, I put everything together.
Yeah.
I laid it all out, and I am now the publisher. I no longer have that other publisher because I didn't need him.
Yeah. What I love about that book is they're actual photos of what you need to do on the course. They're not just a written word where you got to try to figure. People are visual. There's a lot of visual learners, and that is very visual. And I think it's great.
Good point.
Every page is a visual, and not only that, I got more.
Oh, look at that! Bring them out, girl.
I have 5.
I'm sorry I asked. Oh my goodness.
You got 5 of them. Well, definitely got to go to the website.
But I thought I was a little disturbed because, survival guide for women. What the hell happened to the survival guide for men?
Well, when I started, it was just for women. But now because of YouTube, my next book, I'm actually killing the pink. I'm killing the girls. I'm going to change the title to, this is my latest, More Pars. And I have Nick on the back.
Okay.
So, yeah, my whole branding has changed.
Yeah, very nice.
Because of guys.
Because of guys.
I love women and guys. I like teaching them all. So it's good.
What would you suggest, Christina, to the LPGA players? What they can do, or what the organization can do to kick up the excitement when they go out and play tour events?
I think it's exciting now. You don't think it's exciting now?
I think it is. I just think some of the marketing, how do we get it more mainstream?
Yeah.
Listen, I watch those ladies out there on tour. I wish I could swing like them.
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're amazing. I wish that my body would do that stuff. It just doesn't. And I look at it and I go, wow, the pace of their swings, there's so much you can learn. But I just think, the marketing aspect of it, I don't understand why it's not more popular than it is.
Because they're never going to, in my view, Christina, they're never going to come close to creating the kind of excitement that the guys do on the PGA Tour. Agree or not?
Probably. That's just because of history. I think so. But I think it's good to have a mix of culture on the LPGA, as long as it's not so focused on one type of culture. I think we need to have a good mix of players in there to attract eyeballs, because if it's all Koreans, the Americans, it's nice to have a good mix of players. And I think the social media, if the LPGA players do a great job of reaching out to just the everyday folk, I think, providing tips for the everyday player is awesome. Just kind of getting that grassroots feeling through the social media.
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Do you think the Americans are going to ever dominate on tour again as opposed to the Asians? Because I don't, personally.
Say that again?
Do you think that the Americans will ever dominate on tour again as opposed to the Asians? Because I don't think the Americans will dominate again on the LPGA.
I never say never.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, okay.
You just never know. I mean, the Asians they're just phenomenal. They're phenomenal. I mean, their whole culture is, the ones that are into golf, they're into it. I mean, that's it. And I don't know, they must have something in their brain that helps them focus a little bit more than us over here in the States. I don't know, because they're just like machines.
Well, machines. I think it comes down to what they're passionate about. I mean, you see some of them, they're passionate, and we want the young ladies here in the United States to get passionate about playing golf and doing these other things, because I think it's great. As I said, I wish I could swing like they swing.
Yes.
I wish I had that swing, because the tempo, the rhythm, and the things they do are phenomenal.
I just don't think they have the fire in the belly, Christina, like the Asians do. I think some of the American players, in all honesty, and that's why we call it where nothing is out of bounds, I think they're more worried about matching the color of their nail polish to the color of the shaft on their driver.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. I don't agree with that, but
are you disagreeing with me?
Yeah,
I am. They get all the passion in the world.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they
It's
are.
just, it's a game, and who's ever better is going to win. So we just got to keep plugging away, and the Americans and the Canadians, whoever, South Americans,
Right.
they're as good as the Asians, but it's just the Asians seem to have a little bit of extra credit somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's that way because, I look at it this way. We have Tiger because of what he did at a young age. He started and the passion matched the athletic ability to play.
Right.
I think you're seeing that in some of the Asian women right now. They started a long time ago and all that. The Americans are going to be there. There's some young ladies that play junior golf, high school golf that are phenomenal golfers.
Oh, yeah.
And, they're not going to back down. So I think it's just a cycle, and I'm looking forward to when the American comes back. I remember back when Nancy Lopez, she showed up at a tournament, everybody was like, okay. It was like Tiger playing. We're playing for second.
Yeah, exactly.
Nancy's here. We might as well play for second.
Exactly.
So
That's
I think
a good
it's
point.
just a reciprocal thing, and I look forward to it. But I love what the ladies do on tour. I think they're phenomenal.
Christina, you're certified in just about every level of fitness there is, as I mentioned, Titleist Performance Center, CrossFit, this and that and the other. What does that bring to you as far as relating that in your teaching? Because I cannot see a 45-year-old woman coming out and all of a sudden wanting to get interested in CrossFit or going to the gym. What does that do for you as relates to your teaching?
Well, I like to educate my students in the importance of our body, which is our most important piece of equipment. So if our body is not functioning optimally, we're going to compensate during the swing. So if our hips are tight, we're not going to be able to load into our backswing, really get into our backswing properly, or on the downswing, open that lead hip enough to get through the ball. So players need to understand educationally how their body affects their swing. That's why I love Titleist Performance Institute, because that is the body swing connection. That's what they teach.
Right.
So it's very important that students understand, and they don't have to go into CrossFit, no. But they can do mobility, which is number one. You have to have mobility first, then stability, then strength, speed. You put the strength and speed together, you get power. So my job is to educate players, and they, based on their goals, can implement a program that works for them. So that's how I am teaching. So my instruction with fitness is for the everyday golfer. It's not for the CrossFit trainer, CrossFit competitor. It's not that level.
Well, I think that's a great point, because there's days when you and I go to the golf course and we just don't move like we want to move. And, to understand,
we're drunk, probably, but
the understanding that your body has to be fit in order to do that, just to me, brings the guys and girls on tour how phenomenal they really are, because that has to be married every week to go out and perform the way they do.
Do you believe in, and that's a very good point that you make, years ago there was a saying that men could learn so much from women as far as their touch around the green and this and that and the other. I don't think that's necessarily true today, Christina. How do you feel about that?
I agree. I think touch is based on the player. It's not gender specific by any means.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And now, in your aspect of that, is that something that you just have to do and get the feel for, or is it something that you can? You're nodding, so I take it that is.
You mean some players, if they had athletic background, will have an easier time with it.
Right.
Like my background, I did field hockey, tennis, basketball, softball, so a lot of hand-eye stuff. So I had that going in. I also ran track.
Wow.
So I had that going in. That's an advantage. But if you don't have that athletic background, you can still learn it. Yeah. But the thing with learning, and this is where players fall short, is that they give up too soon.
Yeah.
Because we need time to learn. Our brain has to rewire stuff, and players give up too soon. Sometimes they're looking for that quick, short fix, and there are no shortcuts in golf.
Right.
Yeah.
None.
True.
Well,
Zero.
True.
I love the fact that you bring up of all the sports that you played growing up. I think that's a huge advantage. I thought it was a huge advantage for me
doubt about it.
Growing up, playing all the different sports. because it teaches your body to do different things. And these people that go out and specialize in one sport now, I just don't see it. I think you get burned out, and I think your body gets used to doing the same thing, and you don't get that interaction. So doing multiple sports, yes, it does help.
Oh, it's paramount. Matter of fact, Titles Performance Institute, they encourage that. You know, play as many sports as possible when you're young.
Yeah.
You know, golf is just one of them.
Right.
Because it teaches you different motor skills.
It makes me marvel at you playing all of those sports with all of that hair. How are you able to do that?
We're just jealous, by the way.
It's called ponytail.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, as you can see, we're just jealous, that's all.
We just got a couple of minutes left, Christina. First of all, I want you to tell all of our viewers how they could get a hold of the books that you have written. Secondly, I know you're very prolific in inventing, for lack of a better word, different golf aids and training aids. How do they get a hold of that as well, and how do they view that?
So they can find all my products on misspar.com. So MISS PAR.
Okay.
PAR.com, not PA. And then the golf camps, ChristinaRicciGolf.com. Coaching, I'm offering More Pars Coach. So you can live anywhere, and I'm offering ongoing coaching through the Coach Now app, which I'm psyched about.
Nice.
Learn more about that on morepars.com. Follow me on YouTube. I post weekly.
What's your YouTube
More
channel?
Pars. Instagram, I post daily. Get More Pars.
Okay.
Yeah, she's all about getting more pars. That shows you're very prolific. She's probably one of the best marketers.
So in other words, what she's telling us, it's our fault if we don't get better by not following her.
By not following her. That's exactly right. Well, we hope everybody that's because we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on all of those channels too. So I hope you follow us as well. Christina, I'm going to let you go. Thank us. I know you're busy. Thanks so much. I'm going to see what I can do. We'd love to have you come out to Las Vegas to do a camp. And things are opening up here. In fact, our casinos have just recently opened. We're trying to get people here, obviously, to get the town back rolling. Golf courses have been busy, thank goodness, when they opened up, and that's always good to see. So we're going to try our level best to get you out here and hopefully tee it up with you as well.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Stay well, and it's, again, pleasure seeing you, and we'll be in touch.
More Pars.
All right. Goodbye. More Pars. Absolutely. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay. We're gonna step away, take another short break, and come back. We're gonna be Gridiron versus Green. We got some good subjects today, so stay with us. We are back right after this.
Keith, this is Gary Player. I'm just coming back to you, read your email that you sent me about the Vero ball. I've now given it a good test under all kinds of conditions. I love the ball. I used it today, and I must say I've never used a better ball. The paint on it is outstanding. It's a little harder. It's a little harder than the other ball, and I don't know, I just love it with putting. It gives a very nice click. But the most important thing is you've got a ball there that is outstanding, and I wish you everything of the best. Thank you so much, Pete.
Dr. Christopher Choi has long been recognized as one of the top concierge doctors in Las Vegas. He and the entire staff at the Concierge Wellness Center have earned the reputation of unsurpassed medical care and service to all of their patients. In a continuing effort to always advance his practice, Dr. Choi is now offering an additional service using the most advanced laser therapy treatments available. Sure, being in great physical health is very important, but so is the mental boost you get when you know you look your best. Whether you want to lose those wrinkles, diminish acne scars, decrease pigmentation, are in need of skin tightening or permanent fat reduction, here's the answer. No matter what procedure suits you best, you have peace of mind knowing there is no actual surgery and no downtime. You just get results with these amazing laser treatments. You might wonder if it hurts. The answer is no. All you feel is a slight tingly feeling when having the procedure. Now is the time to go for it. You'll love the results you'll get. Call Concierge Wellness Center at 702-463-8080. Again, that's 702-463-8080. You'll be glad you did.
Is arthritic pain, stiffness, and soreness keeping you from enjoying the activities you love? The new copper-infused CopperTech golf glove will fix that. The CopperTech copper-infused golf glove soothes arthritic hands and provides support for muscle stiffness, soreness, and pain, reducing muscle recovery time with compression comfort that improves muscle circulation. Engineered with the healing magnetic properties of copper, the CopperTech golf glove helps alleviate muscle stiffness and joint pain.
The copper-infused technology helps my joint and muscle pain.
The CopperTech golf glove uses silicone spiderweave palm technology, never seen before in a golf glove.
As a senior mini tour player, this silicone woven technology helps me grip the club lighter, and consequently I get more club head speed.
The silicone palm grips great and outlasts anything else I've ever used.
The non-slip woven silicone pattern improves slip resistance, plus it wicks sweat away to prevent chafing and rashes.
I've been a golf coach and a professional instructor for 25 plus years, and this is one of the best products I've ever seen to help my students feel a secure grip, gives them great traction, and I know it's really going to help their golf game.
Get back in the game, practice longer, and play longer.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Terrific young lady, good teacher. She's got a little bit of an accent, which I like. And if you see her videos, Jay, she dresses, I don't know what's the word I'm thinking, seductively. She wears a real short skirt. She looks great in clothes, obviously, because she's a fitness nut. But she's a great gal.
Well, but she is. It was great, and it's great to understand from her perspective that you have to be realistic with your golf game.
Totally.
You know, you have to be realistic, and I think a lot of us, we think we can go out and shoot under par all the time. That's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
You want to be consistent. You're going to hit some good shots. You're going to hit some bad shots.
Totally.
But the thing is, try to be consistent and enjoy the game. That's the number one thing. Get out, enjoy the game.
And if you think you're not, just look at the guys on tour, the best in the world. They hit a bunch of skankers all the time. So if they do it, you're going to do it.
Well, yeah, and the best guys on tour, you go out there and you watch them, they shoot 62 one day, and they shoot 73 the very next day on the same golf course.
Exactly.
So you've got to realize it's a very difficult game to play.
Yeah, and she nailed it. She nailed it. All right, it is time for Gridiron versus Green. We got some good topics for you.
This is going to be good because he hasn't shared this with me, so this
is all new to him.
Kept this a secret, so let's go. Let's see what you got.
All right, Jay. The European Tour has been making a bunch of noise and threatening to let the European players play events in shorts. I think it's stupid. Who wants to see these guys with their hairy legs walking around for 18 holes? I don't think it looks professional. I just think it looks weird.
Well, it looks weird because it's different.
Yeah.
But here again, I go out and play in shorts all the time. I think it's still.
And I've got to look at your hairy legs for 4 hours.
I think it can be a professional look. I think it's just something new. Okay.
It is new.
I think it's new, and I don't think you'll see the guys do it all the time. I think I watched the replay of the one at Congressional a couple of years ago, and it was 97 degrees, and humidity was 90 degrees, and they were going through different shirts. Let them wear shorts. I mean, it's at that point it becomes functional, at that point. But the professional look, I still think they're going to look professional. It's just matter of personal preference.
Well, it is personal preference, and I think maybe they'll give them the option. I know it's different. I can't get next to it. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that I get, which is, you see these guys that go out there, and they take off their hats at the end of the round. And if they're like me, the top of their head is completely white, and then they have this beautiful suntan.
Right.
So how many guys are going to go out there with their white legs until they get that suntan?
Get that suntan. I know that's a very very good point. Speaking of tour players, there's also been some noise about, and this came about from the latest made-for-TV events, with Tiger and Phil, and before that, about miking up players while they are in a tour event. I think it's stupid. It's boring. You take most of these guys, Jay, separately when they go in the press room to get interviewed. Some of them you would swear didn't even graduate high school. They're very, very poor at it. It's going to be the same dumb stuff. What do you think? 6-iron? Nah, you're a little downwind. The pin's over there. Just get it over the bunker. It's going to be the same chatter back and forth. Who cares what they talk about? I want to see them executing the shots.
Well, here again, you're talking about personalities. Okay,
right.
There's some guys that just don't do it. I will tell you this. Listening to Phil describe shots to Tom Brady on how to play them and what to look at, the different colors of the greens and all that, that to me is fascinating. That stuff doesn't go through my head.
Yeah.
And to understand that he doesn't miss a trick,
Right.
That's exciting. But, here again, that's Phil, and he was very good at describing it. But then again, you had Tiger in the same group, and I know Tiger's personality, and I know Tiger likes to have fun, but he was very controlled.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of personalities that go out there. I thought, in the one previous, Ricky Fowler waving to the non-crowd, after. Those guys get it. And here again, it's just a matter of personality, but I was intrigued from Phil's standpoint about, hey, here's how you're going to knock this down. One hop, it's going to stop, that. And he knew what he was doing.
I still think they're going to be cognizant of the fact they have a mic on.
Oh, no
they
question.
Really won't let it loose.
Yeah.
Where their caddy's going to go, Jay, don't be an idiot, okay? Right. Why do you want to hit an 8-iron? You're never going to make it.
You're going to have those situations. But, for the most part, you're going to get some on-course discussion that's going to be insightful. Some are going to be funny. When Tiger followed in his putt, a couple of years ago, that was hilarious. There are some fun things. It's not all going to be fun and games because they're out there to win golf tournaments.
They're
going to be grinding.
There's no doubt about it. Big issue with distance. These guys are hitting the ball off the end of the earth. They're pulverizing these golf courses. Making them longer is not the answer. So Nick Faldo says, you know what, you want to dial them back? You don't have to do anything with the ball. They could hit driver off of the tee, par 4, par 5, or whatever. They just can't use a tee. They got to hit it off the ground.
Well,
they can hit a 3-wood for crying out loud, 280 plus. So what do they need to really use the driver for to hit at 320, 325? I kind of agree with him.
Well, it's a give and take. It's technology, it's the golf ball, it's the equipment that allow them to do that now. It's the fitness that these guys are in, the shape that they're in, the technique of the golf swing that they've learned. All of that has come into play. Here again, it's great to see these guys can hit it so far, but they've got to do it consistently.
They have to do it
That's
consistently.
The key. And you'll find out, and here's the bottom line. I don't care what tournament you watch, the men's tour, the ladies tour, the person that wins the tour event, they're closest to the pin and they're putting. That's what wins tour events for them. They need to putt.
Well, I agree with you, but you watch tournaments now on TV, rarely, as good as these guys are, and they're damn good, rarely will you see somebody hit a driver off the fairway, even with a great lie.
Well,
they don't need to take that chance when they can hit a 3-wood again.
Yeah, but
280 plus.
But here again, I have seen Phil, I've seen Rory, I've seen those guys do it, and it's phenomenal because, let's be realistic. They can hit it a lot better than we can, and they know what they're going to do. I watched Phil a couple of years ago hit a driver off a deck and slice it about 50 yards on purpose. And I'm like, okay, that's when you're dialed in. I wouldn't suggest trying that with my swing because I'd have no idea.
Yeah, no, but it's going to be interesting to see. But I don't agree with Faldo that much. But on this particular point, I do agree with him. It would be interesting. They'll never adopt anything like that, but it would be interesting to see what they do. All right, that's going to wrap it up, I think, for this edition of Golf Unedited, where nothing is out of bounds. I want to thank our great guests, Jeff Wallach and Christina Ricci, and I want to thank Jay for hanging in there with me. Again, follow us on all social media, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. We are open to you sending us money or bitcoins, like I said last week. And I want to thank the guy again that sent me the coffee cup. It was absolutely great. So make sure to check us out. Don't miss an episode. And that's going to wrap it up.
Yeah, suggestions. If you have people that you feel you want to hear from about the game of golf, send it to us. We'd love to have them.
Absolutely. So until then, keep it in the short stuff, keep it in the fairway, and we'll see you all back next show. So long, everybody.
Look at that guy in front of me. That bum, he can't even get it past the latest tees. Look at these greens.